What if Yamaha dusted off one of its most iconic trail enduro names and brought it back in a modern, capable package? You the imagined 2026 Yamaha XT600 more refined, more tech, but still true to the rugged XT spirit. And at the end of this video, I'll share a surprise wishlist feature that could make it a game changer for dual sport riders. Welcome back everyone to Z Auto Advisor, your place for motorcycle deep dives, adventure dreams, and what could be. Today, we're imagining the return of the Yamaha XT600, updated for 2026. What would it look like? How would it perform? And would it still deserve the XT badge? Let's ride into it. Before imagining the future, let's remember the past. The XT600 is a legendary dual sport adventure bike from Yamaha. Key historical points. First XT600, XT600Z, Tenere, etc. Introduced in early 1980s. Engine, 595cc single-cylinder, air-cooled, SOHC 4-valve. Known for rugged reliability, long travel suspension, big front tank in the Z Tenere version, and a strong off-road identity. Common weak points historically: heat management, weight, emissions compliance, and lack of modern safety electronics. With that heritage, any new XT600 would need to keep what made the XT beloved, while bringing it up to modern standards. Here's how I imagine Yamaha would dress up the 2026 XT600. Frame and chassis: lightweight steel or hybrid steel, aluminum frame. Built tough, perhaps more use of modern alloys to trim weight. Bodywork: slim, rugged plastics with old-school rally, Tenere styling cues, tall front fender, side tank shape, possibly a fairing option. Heritage color options like rally blue, white, sand, or modern matte finishes. Lighting: full LED headlamp, DRLs, LED indicators, tail light. Brighter, more efficient. Seat and ergonomics: tall seat height, historic XT had 860, 890 in mirror, but slim profile for maneuverability off-road. Handlebars wide and positioned for standing, unstanding riding. Adjustable windscreen for touring road comfort. Updating the engine is crucial. Displacement could stay around 600cc single-cylinder, or possibly bumped slightly, 620, 650cc, if emissions allow. A single-cylinder to keep torque and simplicity. Cooling: likely liquid cooling or advanced air oil cooling, plus improved head cooling fins to manage heat better than older models. Fuel system: electronic fuel injection with ride-by-wire throttle. Possibly multiple ride modes: street, off-road. Power and torque: expect 40-48 HP, with strong low-end and mid-range torque, 50-60 Nm, to make off-road climbing and loaded touring realistic. Transmission: 6-speed gearbox, with perhaps a slipper clutch or assist clutch to help with downshifts and reduce fatigue. Kickstarter would be a heritage bonus, but electric start required. The aim: respectful power, not hyperbike, but enough to handle mixed terrain and highway stretches. What makes dual sport fun is how well it deals off-road and also traffics well on pavement. For 2026 XT600, front suspension: long travel USD upside-down forks, fully adjustable for preload, compression, and rebound, maybe 250-270 mm travel. Rear suspension: monoshock with linkage, adjustable. Good travel, maybe 230-250 mm wheels, 21-inch front. 18-inch rear spoked wheels to preserve off-road capability with strength and modded tires. Brakes: strong disc brakes front and rear. ABS standard, with rear ABS reducible off-road mode. Possibly big disc up front, 300 mm for better stopping power. Tires: dual sport or semi-knobby tires to balance grip off-road versus road comfort. Ground clearance should be high-ish, perhaps 270-300 mm wet-dry weight. Aim to keep it as light as possible, maybe around 160-180 kg, depending on features. To make it relevant in 2026, these features would help. Ride modes: street, off-road, rain, so power and ABS traction can adapt. Switchable ABS, traction control. Digital dash, instrument cluster, gear indicator. fuel gauge, trip info, maybe Bluetooth phone connectivity, LED lighting, USB-C port, possibly optional luggage racks, accessory mounting points for adventure setup. These won't ruin the heritage but add usability, safety and value. Even with a revival, Yamaha will need to address emissions. Ensuring the engine meets modern emission standards, Euro 5-6, etc. is essential. Heat management. Older XT600 models often ran hot in traffic. Updated cooling needed. Weight creep. Adding electronics and features often increases weight. Design must keep it light. Comfort trade-offs. Seat height. Wind protection. These can be taxing on road. If Yamaha balances these right, the XT600 revival could be a strong contender. Here's my vision for what riding a 2026 XT600 might feel like. City use, easy to maneuver, strong low end so you don't have to rev hard, might feel tall but slim in seat, tank helps. Highway distance, enough power for highway cruising, 100-120 km/h, especially in higher gears. Wind blast managed via good windscreen. Fuel capacity decent to allow long distance. Off-road, trails, excellent. Standing on pegs, moving weight, climbing hills, handling rough ground. Tire options allow switching to more aggressive tread if needed. Overall, a mix of comfort, agility, and ruggedness. Here's a speculative spec list for a 2026 Yamaha XT600 item imagined spec engine. 620cc single-cylinder, liquid-cooled, 4-valve SOHC horsepower approx. 45 HP air, 6,500 RPM torque, about 55-60 minute transmission 6-speed. Assist slipper clutch, seat height, 880-900 mm ground. Clearance, bar 280 to 300 mm wet. PDs was 5 180 Q, fuel tank 18 to 22 liters for decent. Range suspension, 250 mm front, 230 mm rear travel, fully adjustable. Wheels, tires, 21-inch front, 18-inch rear spoked, dual sport tires, brakes, large front disc, 300 mm rear disc, ABS with off-road switchable settings, electronics ride modes, digital instrument cluster, LED lighting, USB-C port, traction control. If Yamaha revived the XT600 with these kinds of specs, it could really hit a sweet spot. For adventurers who want more off-road ability than smaller 250-300 dual sports, but not the bulk or price of big adventure bikes. For riders in regions where road quality is variable, and rugged simplicity matters. For fans of Yamaha heritage who want the old XT feel with modern reliability. It would also push competitors to update their mid-size dual sports in many markets. Those 400-700cc classes are ripe for innovation. Here's a wish surprise feature I hope Yamaha might include. Adventure Pack. From factory optional accessories such as crash bars, luggage racks, skid plate, auxiliary lights, rally screen. If these are dealer or factory fitted, it saves a lot of aftermarket cost. If Yamaha offers that, it makes the XT600 not just a showpiece but immediately ride-ready for long trips. At Z Auto Advisor, I believe a 2026 XT600, if done right, could be something special. It wouldn't be for every rider, but for the right rider, someone who loves trails, adventure, heritage, and a machine that speaks to the soul while being useful every day, it could be a dream. So, would you want this revived XT600? What specs would you insist on? And what trade-offs would you accept? Seat height versus comfort, power versus weight, features versus simplicity. Let me know in the comments. If you like this speculative deep dive into the 2026 Yamaha XT600, hit that like button, share with your riding buddies, and of course, subscribe to Z Auto Advisor so you won't miss it if Yamaha surprises us with something real. Ride safe, ride bold, and keep chasing those horizons.